Hello everyone, I'm back with a new tutorial on converting shader toy code to SparkSL code. And I already did a portal last time, but this portal is a bit different. And there's a detail, there's something that we never did before, that is receive a texture, okay? You can see here that this noise texture is being used, and the way we input texture in our shader using sparkar is different than the way it's used here. So let's start by copying this code. But before we paste it there on Spark, let me make sure how our UV looks like here. Okay, vec4. So uv.x, uv.y. The blue is gonna be 0, and the alpha is gonna be 1. Okay, they called it P instead of UV. So let me just change it UV by P. So it's like last time, it's inverted compared to the one here on sparkar. So we already know that we have to do that inversion, okay? That we did last time. So create a new project, I already did here. I'm gonna create that rectangle so that we can test it. In our rectangle, create a new material. It's gonna be shader type flat. Okay, and let's create our shader code. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna make sure that it's working here. Okay, it's working. And let's open our code editor. Let's delete the default code and replace by the one we copy from shader toy. Okay, and before we save this, we already know that we have to change the time, right? Let's change the time. It's gonna be used only here. So let's replace it by getTime function. And let's use the namespace std. So using namespace std. And what else we need to change. There's no global variables here. And as I told you before, inputs can't be after the outputs here on SparkSL. So I'm gonna delete this. Here where it says P, it's gonna be our UVs, right? So I think I'm gonna change this name here. So I'm gonna select this P, and I'm gonna press Ctrl D to select all P's. Okay, let me delete this comment because it's selecting those P's inside the comment. Okay, let me select again. Ctrl D to select all of them. And let's type UV. And to get the UV here on SparkSL, we already know that we have to use the fragment function. So fragment, and inside the fragment function, we're going to receive the get vertex text chord function. And to make the UV similar to the one on shader toy, we're going to have to invert and shift it. In the last tutorial, we already did this, so I'm going to just copy and paste it here. I already have the code here. It was this one. So after we get the UV, we're going to shift it 0.5, and the aspect ratio is going to depend on the size of the screen, okay? So if it's a wide screen, when the X direction is greater than the Y direction, we're gonna use this aspect ratio. And otherwise, if it's a portrait screen, like the most of cell phones, we're gonna use this one. So let's copy these lines here. And also this one here, that is the line that's gonna invert in the Y direction, our UVs. So Ctrl C. And let's just copy this here. And let's delete this line because this line is doing what we're doing here. Okay. They only use this aspect ratio because on shader toy, it's always a widescreen, right? So I'm gonna delete this here, and I'm gonna press Ctrl S. Save, and let's see the errors you get. Okay, saved and nothing changed. Don't know why this is happening. It's like it's not updating. Let me pause, play again. Let me restart. Let me drag this here. Yeah, it's like it's not updating. The code is not updating here in our project. So when this happens, I like to save, close, and open it again. Okay, so I'm opening it again. Let's see now if it's gonna work. Didn't work. Let me open the code again. Let me change something here. Save again and see. It's gonna update. Yeah, I think it's updated now. Yeah, we can see the errors here. So the first error says that is an undeclared identifier texture. Name it texture. Yeah, it's because we don't have this function here on SparkSL. So the strategy here is different to get a texture. So let's go back to our code. And I think this function is being called here. Yeah. Inside the noise function. So it's getting the texture from the iChannel 0. That is this channel here. Okay. So it's using a noise texture. So first, let's get one noise texture here in the default library from SparkAI. We have default textures here. Yeah, go to this tab, textures, and let's search for a noise texture. I'm gonna get this Berlin noise, I think. Okay, let's use this one. We can try different ones to see if the effect in the portal is gonna change. So I'm gonna already import it here. Let me see what else would be good. Maybe this dirt one. This one. And the white noise. Okay. So you can try all of them. And we're gonna need to receive as an input in our shader here. Okay. So now I'm gonna show you how you can receive a texture as an input here in our main function. So you're gonna have to declare here a texture. It's gonna be a parameter of our function. Texture 2D. Let's name it noise texture. Noise texture. Noise text. And you need to pass this texture to that function, right? To the noise function. So let's search where is this noise function being called. Let's search for noise. Okay, it's being called here, 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 and here. So we need to pass our texture here. Noise texture. Okay, as argument in all these noise functions. Now these calls here. And the noise function is being called here inside the FBM function. So we need also receive our texture, our noise texture here as well. Okay. Noise text. And now we need to find where this FBM function is being called. So let's search for it. FBM. So it's being called here, here. Okay. Yeah, so this FBM function is being called inside the dual FBM function. Okay, so we're gonna need to pass the texture, the noise texture, as a parameter here as well. Noise texture. Oh, and here as well. And this dual FBM function also needs to receive our noise texture. So let's bring it here. And let's find where this dual FBM function is being called. So let's search for it. Okay. It's being called only one time here inside the main function. So we need to pass our noise texture there. Okay. Okay, now we pass our noise texture to all the functions that uses it. And here inside the noise texture, we're gonna have to receive our texture. So texture D, noise texture. Now let's comment this line here. And we need to return our noise texture dot sample, and we have to sample it in our UV. The UV is already this X. Here they call it X. So instead UV, let's put X here. Okay. So I think we are done. Let me save. Let's see if there's errors. Oh, it's missing one comma here. Here, and the dual FBM, I forgot a comma. Let's save. Okay, it's saying that we didn't declare the eye resolution. I forgot to declare it here. Yeah, we have to create a vec2 eye resolution that's gonna receive the get render target size function. Okay, that's the size of the screen. Let's save. And there's another error in the noise function, okay? They're supposed to return a float, but we're returning a vec4. So let's see. Ah, okay, I got it. When he was sampling here the texture, he only got the .x, only the R, right? The red channel. So we have to do the same here, .x. So we're gonna return only the red channel of the color. That's why it's a float. So let's save. And oh my god, finally, I love when I read this. When the compilation finished successfully. So now we can drag our shader here. And of course, you need to put some texture here. So let's first choose the... Actually, let's do this. Let's get an option picker of type texture. Let's put all our textures here. We have 4 different textures to try. Let's add one counter. Let's connect here to the option. And our counter is gonna count from 0 to 4. As we tap the screen. So add one screen tap. And every time I tap, our portal gonna change. It's like the smoke gonna change the style, okay? And I already see there's some issue here. It's because I already know that because it happened to me before. Because we need to change here the tiling. We have to choose the tiling mode. Instead of clamp, we need to use repeat. Okay. In both directions. So let me see if it changed for every single texture. Yeah. Okay, and now we have our portal. And depend on the texture we insert here in the input, this smoke effect gonna change its shape, right? So I think this is the nicest one. That's this dirt, this one. You can check all different kind of textures here as input and see how the smoke gonna look like. Let me see in the widescreen. We can play with the material. Let me see how it's. Let me see here with the cameras. So we can put this image in a plane and use it as like an entrance for another dimension, right? So guys, that's one more tutorial done. I hope you have learned a lot in this one. And don't forget to give a like, comment in the video, and subscribe to the channel, okay? So that I know when I see that from which video I got the follower, I know I got the follower from this playlist, okay? So it means you are interested in the subject and I can make more tutorials converting shaded toy to SparkSL, okay? So have a nice day and bye.